Okay, I have just gone and bought myself my first stand-up paddleboard. It's not an activity that I'm massively motivated to get into, given some of the other stuff I do, but there are some practical reasons I thought I wouldn't mind getting one. I wouldn't mind just getting comfortable with it. And then the idea is to get our dog, Bear, familiar with it too. And it's just something you can do with your pet then. So that's really the whole idea. To take it down somewhere like West Lakes, which is where I'm going to go today to test it out, and then integrate the dog into it. And also, obviously, I might want to go in the kayak or my sailboard, and that means that Karen can paddle the stand-up paddleboard. So without further ado, what we got here, it tells me that it's, I think it's 10'6", which is 320 centimeters, so 3.2 meters long. 150 kilogram is its capacity, so I'm around, I think, 83 kilos at the moment. Bear is around 21, and maybe he'll get an extra kilo or so, but I think that's pretty much it. So we're well inside that, and it just seems like a really nice, buoyant, high volume board. It's like a drop stitch construction, and so I should be able to get it pumped up so it's nice and firm as well. Haven't had one of these before. I think without further ado, let's open it up. And whilst I'm opening it up, I might just show you a bit of footage from the other day, because we got this life jacket for Bear to see if we could take him out from this and have the capacity to just, you know, pick him up and put him back on. He already swims really well, but we need a life jacket, so I got one of those, and this is how that went when I was introducing him to it, as I'm taking this out of the box. Okay, so we've got Bear some jackets to keep him warm, but also this one, which is a life jacket. Now, he doesn't need a life jacket to swim because you're a good swimmer, aren't you? Good swimmer? But this is more for when we eventually get him on a stand-up paddleboard or a kayak or something out on the water. So that would be for tether if we need it, and I suppose you could also say a leash, but this is what I really wanted. You can stand up there for this demonstration. Ready for this? So if he's in the water, I might want to give him a hand, yeah, to get him back on the board. You like that? He doesn't seem too fussed at all, so I think he's going to find this pretty comfortable. Just let him wander around it for a while. And the next thing to try will be to try and get you on a stand-up paddleboard, wouldn't it be? Think you'll like that? I think you'll like that. So everything's out of the box now and unwrapped. We've got the board, we've got a paddle, which I'm told is your height plus about 10 inches if you're just cruising around. A pump which comes with it. There's a fin, skeg, depending on what you want to call it. And then we've got a leash for the ankle and a tether, and a bag and a punch kit and a set of instructions. So from here it should just be a case of pumping up. Now, because this is a drop stitch construction, it takes more pressure than if it was like a softer kind of almost lilo construction. But it's not huge, 15 psi. So let's put the air into it to 15 psi, which by the way is about the pressure I pump my go-kart tyres up to on a cold day. Alright, that's pretty close. I think we have about 14 psi, but that's close enough. Yeah, nice hard construction. And from here, the only thing to do is actually just take it down and do a little bit of practice on the lake, and hopefully get comfortable paddling it around. before we add a dog. As to letting it down, which I've got to do now because I've got to put it in the bag, I think it's just a case of okay, I don't think it's anything more complicated than that. And that looks like it should fit in rather easily. So it's all packed up. It's in the backpack here, and there's quite a generous amount of room. Unlike a lot of other water sports equipment where I always find that once you take it out of the packaging, once you unwrap it, it can be a real nightmare to put it back in. Things like tents, things like, I've got an inflatable kayak, it can just be a little bit difficult to get back in, but this is fine, and it's got a little bit of extra space. So if I want to put a wetsuit in this, I should be right to fit it in. The overall weight, I've just weighed it, it's about 12 kilograms. So if you're jumping on the train, if you're jumping on the bus, this is pretty good. And it's reasonably comfortable. Straps here, waist strap here. I could wear this quite easily to get down to the water. So with that in mind, let's go to the water. So as you can see, we are now out on West Lakes for the first time on a stand-up paddleboard. And I started off as people recommend, which is on your knees, but very quickly progressing to getting up on my feet. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to extend the length of this paddle a little bit. So let's go up a little bit more. Oops, a bit wonky there. Let's try and straighten that up. And right from the outset, I do realize for those who are experienced stand-up paddle boarders, which I am not, that this is not an ideal paddle. It's come with a board, it's an El Cheapo paddle, and we need to get one that's canted back a little bit, because when you go into the water, as you can see, that's pointing water up towards the board. That's okay for today. We'll use it as it is, get used to the balance a little bit, try and get around the island before it gets dark, and then we're in a position to try it with the dog. There's plenty of buoyancy on the board, it's just really a matter of getting the balance right. And you know what a lovely thing to do in the evening. One of the things I've heard from a lot of people is it's quite good to practice inside your house with the dog on the board first, and just practice getting them used to moving the paddle over the top of them, assuming they're on the front of the board, because obviously that's what's going to happen. I'm just trying to work out what kind of progress I'm making. Not bad progress, I'd say slower than the kayak, but probably faster than when I'm swimming, particularly if I'm swimming it without a suit. And I've gone around Delphin Island quite a few times. The question is, am I going to get all the way around without falling in? First time. Just going under the first bridge now. Got a few more to go. We're just about to go through another bridge, which I think is West Lakes Boulevard, and this is essentially the entry to the Southern Lake. going under another bridge. Just coming back onto the northern lake now. So I think we've got about 800 meters to finish. G'day, mate. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, 6.5k, and we didn't fall in. Not a bad first stand-up paddle.